Welcome back, lords, ladies, underhive scumbags, anybody that loves Necromunda. Sorry, that should be everybody loves Necromunda. There we go. This is the new Zone Mortalis ruined terrain set. And I'm going to be painting it out. Love this kit. If you see my previous video, love the fact that it's got so much detail on this stuff. Very, very surprised. I'm so sorry, Games Workshop. How could I have ever doubted you? I thought these were going to be just Forge World resin pieces left in the sun. But the terrain has got some serious detail. For something that's broken, busted, crumbling, blasted apart, beaten by an ambot, the level of detail is immense. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And you have confirmed what I always suspected. At least these sections are rockcrete and the outer is possibly steel, could be rockcrete as well. But I love the fact that you've got reed bars showing in between the concrete busted areas. Just absolutely boss. Favourite one has got to be this piece. And I wish there was a couple more in the box of it. But I'm definitely buying more kits of this stuff. So what I'm going to do is assemble them up as per instructions, at least for this box anyway, and then paint them up for you and show you what I can do. So it's going to be painted in the theme of my other columns, walls, stairs, all that kind of stuff I have for Zone Mortalis already. And I think I've spent £600-ish in total for all of my Necromunda terrain. So I'm going to assemble this up, as like I said, as per instructions of the box. The next one I'm going to do, I'm probably going to do something weird and wonderful with it. Maybe some gantries with this, rather than wall sections. Loving the beams and things like that, so that's definitely going to be used for something else in future. But in the meantime, best get cracking and start actually reading some instructions for once. A little bit of assembly update. So this is awesome. I love this. When I was making a gantry, a busted platformy thing for my Zone Mortalis stuff, I never thought about making something that is the exact width that a 25mm won't fall through or a 32mm. Smart people. I was trying to get platforms and stuff to be all rickety and covering a gap. That is so much cooler and it just fits in there perfectly. These bits also, if I buy a second box, when I buy a second box, will be awesome to put above doorways and make like structural supports and stuff. That is simple yet crazy effective. I like the fact that it's busted open as well, and super lightweight, super easy, just clicks in there to these highly detailed smashed up rockcrete with rebars and cables, and just a fantastic kit. Amazing kit. Totally eating my words about this kit. Way better than I thought it would ever be. So I'm going to carry on assembling all of it. Surprising a lot in the box. I didn't think there was going to be this many columns and walls and stuff. Brilliant. I mean, 3 of these alone, even before you get to the completely squished ones. Fantastic. Nearly as much, if not the same amount, as the original non-destroyed columns and walls boxes. So there's loads of stuff in this wonderful box, more than you think, and it is fantastic. I mean, things like this, yes, looks very similar to the original, and by all means it will slot into the Zone Mortalis tiles, like I said, but doing things well, more like this kind of stuff. So these will slot inside these pieces here, which I think are wonderful. If I get that right. That is great. So you could shoot through it. Obviously you can climb over it, but its class is solid, I guess. The doors, I've personally, the bigger one, of the two I have glued together, because why not move small models through that and not large models? And I'm likely to not lose these pieces, but I have so many door pieces in the massive box that I carry around every week to the local clubs. The small door, fair enough, you can blast it open, I guess, and remove that, so I haven't stuck that in. What they've done with the pipes is wonderful, because the pipes obviously can sit in there like so, and you could make it double-ended, so you can slot that one in there like that, not a problem, as a standalone piece. You could slot these pieces in, so I don't know if the camera's picking it up very well, my lighting's a bit weird today. So you can slot it in like that, and then you could put a, if you get it the right way round, Ross, look at that, idiot. And then they can obviously slot on those pieces there. I'm going to turn that light off, I think it's a bit too bright. Bring that one in. Yeah, so wait until the camera adjusts. So you could slot it in like that. Brilliant. But what I really like is any existing 40k piece of terrain, can it slot in with it, like the old pipes that you used to get. So like these old pipes that I'm going to do something with one day will also slot in. So you don't have to glue it in place, these tiny little bits here. You could have these two in it at the same time, and obviously you get another support piece so that doesn't drop down, which I think is brilliant. So using other kits that Games Workshop have produced, so they really are backdating it. All these little bits eventually I will magnetize, because there's a recess there where the magnet goes. Little recesses in ones like that, so you can see in there is a recess. Inside of there, there's a recess for the magnets, things like that. So it's nice that they've thought ahead, or at least gone, wait a minute, the old kits should fit that as well. So I'll start painting these up. So I'm going to do the usual standard. I'm going to use a black rattle can primer over everything. Then I'm going to zenithal, so the top third at least of the terrain, and then I'm going to start hitting it so it looks a bit more like my terrain. So I do a fairly clean board, mainly because I like the contrast of the chipping coming through. I don't varnish it because I use a chipping medium, and the more I play, the more beaten up the boards look, and that's exactly how I like it. It's getting aged literally before our eyes. And I forgot to say, also, of course, the old stuff will latch into place as well. I say old stuff, it's still obviously current and relevant. And same with this piece, for example, you can pop the center out as you would in any of the other pieces, the other wall sections, and of course you can lock another one in there. Sounds a bit more positive, clunk click every trip. So there you go. It is truly a great kit. I am really eating my words. Love the detail, all the little pipes, things like that. I will keep going on about it until the cows come home. Love this kit. So Warhammer community, I don't know if you, obviously not going to listen to a little person like me, but my personal opinion, the pictures didn't look all that. I don't know if it was the clarity or the paint scheme. I know you're trying to make it look a little bit grubby. But me personally, and people in my local community, initially we thought it was just slightly melted resin. So I don't know, maybe a different paint scheme. It's just my personal suggestion. So this is the first stage basically. This is what I was saying. Rattle can primer black, bit of a zenithal on top. Start making the undercoat a brighter colour, then the top coat should be brighter. So it should be a brighter blue there, and it is there, for those who don't know. And then, yeah, start doing the prime colours. So, like I just said, blue, and then I'm going to go with the dead flesh, and then a bone blast in the middle. Just to make the centre a bit brighter. Once everything's nice, bright and crisp and clean, then drench it like hell in some enamel paint, really dirty it up and bring it back. So nearly undoing all your hard work. So that's the first main stage. So that's blocking in all the colours. So I showed you the zenithal. I airbrushed the two different types of blue. So one is slightly darker than the other, so darker there than it is up the top. And then I, this is the painstaking bit, painted in all of the bone colour, and then hit the centre with a slightly brighter bone colour, so to give it a bit more pop in the middle, which looks quite bright now, but the next stage will really get this dirty. So this is to dirty it down. This isn't to do the rust effect at all. So I put the dirt on before the rust, mainly because I want the rust to pop a bit more, and I want the explosion burnt out sections to be really dirty, like it's happened a long time ago, exposing the metal, then the rust formed. Because if I did it the other way around, the rust probably would die down a lot more if I had dirt over the top of the rust. Which doesn't make sense, because in real life you probably have dirt on top of the rust as well, but I don't think it will show up very well. So I'm just going to use Streak and Grime by AK, and I thin it out a little bit with a little bit of white spirit. But yeah, so that's all the bright colours, and then I'm going to dirty it down. So after you've soaked your piece of terrain with the Streak and Grime, just take a decent sized cotton wool pad and soak it in a bit of white spirit. Probably should be using gloves for this. Of course, as you can see, I'm not. And ideally, pull it down from the top in such a manner that you're cleaning off the topmost edges and literally leaving streaks of grime going down the piece. So don't wipe too much off, unless you just want to give it a bit of a contrast rather than a grubby look. So basically I'm just going to do that to bring the top back up to being a bit brighter again, and rinse and repeat on all the pieces. So you can take as much or as little off as you want. I'm going to leave it super grubby, so like that, but just enough to make these bits pop a little bit. But I like to streak it downwards, so you get some, I wouldn't have said rain washes because of the underhive, but condensation. And what you could do if you wanted to is blast some sections with a very dark brown, nearly black, to make it look like some sections have been blown open, rather than just crushed or collapsed. But my next section is going to be, give it a damn good shake, because apparently there is a ball bearing in there, some dirty down rust. So this stuff is lovely, but ideally you need a nice dry brush when applying it. So I'll find an old manky brush I don't care too much about, and I'll start applying it. I might as well start putting it on the pipes. So I've made the pipes a little bit grubby with the stuff as well, and I'm just going to start running it down like this. Not coating everything, but making it look like rust is built up. Maybe it's dripping down a little bit. So make sure I do it on camera, Ross. Make life easier. So I'm just putting it on the flanges of the pipes here. A little bit there. Just to add some colour to it. Later on I will pick out some of the details, so like the little red gauges on the valves. Let's see how this stuff gets on. Oh, there's a bit of a clump on that one. I'll use the clump. Like so. You can always thin it out a little bit, so you don't have to put it on so it's absolutely gopping. Now I'm going to put on some of the pipe work there. Run it down to make it look like gravity is playing the part. Make it look a bit more realistic. Like so. See what that looks like when it's gone off. But yeah, you can really add some serious levels of rust to these pieces. Not just absolutely drench it, but manipulate like around some of the rivets as well, so it looks like it's dragging down. But yeah, so far I'm pretty happy with it. I'll do the final details, like I said, about the gauges, and I'll put it together. I'll take a picture and let you know how I got on. Okay, so after all the weathering and wiping down with the cotton wool pads, a little bit of rust effects and a tiny little bit of detail every now and again. So washing out a rivet or painting the valve on some pipes. Pretty damn happy with it. So it matches my own personal terrain, but obviously paint it any way you want and make it as grubby as you want. So I used the same vibrant bright colours and I dulled them down, but you could go really super heavy with the rust and go maybe plant heavy. So GW do a really nice creeping vines kit. You can add that to it. Lots of lichen and fauna, and maybe something like mold spores, things like that, mushrooms even. It's totally up to you. This is the way that I paint my terrain, and I'll just do a little flyby in a minute and see what you think. So that's the terrain from above, creating a nice shadow with the camera there. I really like the busted door, and the other busted door, and the walkway. Picking up all the individual pieces. Really nice level of detail. I'm so glad I did buy this kit in the end. And of course, what was Necromunda terrain without Carl Johnson's posters, a few wanted posters there, a mushroom warning sign there. But there you have it, the ruined Zone Mortalis tile set. One of, so far, many more to come. Thank you for watching, guys.